बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अस्सलाम वालेकुम व्यूअर्स। इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिकल एंड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स इंजीनियर्स पाकिस्तान की तरफ से एनर्जी राउंड अप के दूसरे प्रोग्राम के साथ इंजीनियर शाहिद शफी सियाल आपकी खिदमत में हाजिर है। नाजरीन, हमारे आज के मेहमान इंजीनियर अल्ताफ़ हुसैन मलिक साहब हैं। इंजीनियर अल्ताफ़ हुसैन मलिक साहब, ही इज़ करंटली वर्किंग एज मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर नेशनल ग्रिड कंपनी ऑफ पाकिस्तान (NGC), formerly known as National Transmission and Dispatch Company. Engineer Altaf Hussain Malik Saab, he is an electrical engineer. He graduated from University of Engineering and Technology, Lahore in 1986. Thereafter, इन्होंने एशियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी बैंकॉक, थाईलैंड से एनर्जी प्लानिंग एंड पॉलिसी में मास्टर्स किया। इसके बाद यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ टोरंटो में इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम में इन्होंने फर्दर एजुकेशन हासिल की एंड फाइनली यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ ब्रिटिश कोलंबिया से he studied management excellence and executive management. Engineer Altaf Hussain Malik Saab, he has 40 years of extensive experience in power sector in North America as well as South Asia. Altaf Hussain Malik Saab ने अपना प्रोफेशनल करियर का आगाज़ वापडा से किया। 1987 में इन्होंने वापडा को ज्वाइन किया और तकरीबन 12 साल इन्होंने वापडा को सर्व किया और इसके बाद अल्ताफ़ हुसैन मलिक साहब कनाडा तशरीफ़ ले गए, जहाँ उन्होंने श्नाइडर इलेक्ट्रिक में कुछ अर्सा एक मुख्तसर पीरियड के लिए काम किया एंड देन ही जॉइंड BC Hydro. BC Hydro is one of the largest power utility in North America. He held leadership roles for 25 years in BC Hydro और जहाँ उन्होंने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर मॉडर्नाइजेशन, सिस्टम रिलायबिलिटी, एसेट मैनेजमेंट और क्लीन एनर्जी इंटीग्रेशन, ये इनके फील्ड्स ऑफ स्पेशलाइजेशन थे। वहाँ उन्होंने BC Hydro में इन पे काम किया। आई एम ग्रेटफुल टू इंजीनियर अल्ताफ़ हुसैन मलिक साहब ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिकल एंड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स इंजीनियर्स पाकिस्तान। अल्ताफ़ साहब, आपका बहुत शुक्रिया कि आपने अपनी मसरूफियात में से इंस्टीट्यूशन के लिए टाइम निकाला। मैंने आपका मुख्तसर सा तारुफ़ तो करा दिया है, लेकिन मैं चाहूँगा कि वो चीज़ जो मैंने कुछ मिस किया है उसके बारे में आप बताइए। Was your professional journey, was it a rocky road or was it a smooth sailing?
So thank you very much Shahid Syal Saab for the opportunity, and thanks to IEEEP as well. And thanks for a nice introduction. You covered almost every aspect of my career journey. But definitely, as you mentioned, career is definitely, there are learning periods and there are various experiences you gain throughout your career. So I'm no different than that. But definitely I had an opportunity to work both in Pakistan as well as in North America. And I can easily compare the working practices in both areas or both sides. And that definitely gives me a better understanding in terms of the world-class practices as well as how things are happening in advanced countries and where we are in Pakistan. So in terms of my career journey, you covered it very well. WAPDA definitely helped me to train initially. I worked in transmission and distribution, both sides in WAPDA. Initially on distribution side, and then I worked a couple of years in transmission line design here in WAPDA house in one of the department. And then I moved to Canada. The journey in Canada, I would say, like many other immigrants, it was I will call it, it's a rebirth, and you have to restart many things when you are there. But I was lucky that in a very short period I was employed with one of the international company, Schneider, initially, as you mentioned, and then I got opportunity to work for BC Hydro, and for almost 25 years I worked over there. Lot of strategic initiatives I was involved over there. In addition to my core asset management and planning function, I was actually leading grid modernization over there for the company, as well as I was the one who was managing the smart metering infrastructure for the company, about 2 million customers or 2 million smart meters over there. In addition to that, I was leading the reliability improvement team for the company. So I would say that I was lucky enough to get involved in many important initiatives which are very important for many utilities.
Altaf Saab, you left WAPDA in 2000 and now you have been reunited with WAPDA after 25 years. What has changed between then and now? Were we better off then, or are we better off now? And are you excited with this reunion?
Okay, interesting question, Shai Sab. Not only WAPDA, let me say that utility industry as a whole, worldwide, changed over the last 20, 25 years. WAPDA, when I was here, it was a vertically integrated utility managing both generation, transmission, and distribution system, like generation and power delivery, both sides. But now WAPDA was one, and if I'm not mistaken, there are 11 distribution companies right now. The
Exactly.
NTDC is now into 3 companies like NGC, ISMO, as well as IDMIC, and the CPPAG and PPIB. Those are other offshoots of old WAPDA. So I would say that the power system is becoming complex. Maybe in some cases it's needed to be have a different focuses and different companies, but at the same time, the coordination between the companies as well as how they operate and how they integrate, do the integrated planning, those are definitely challenges which we need to take care of to have a good long-term plans.
WAPDA was your first company, parent company, and now you have been reunited with WAPDA. वो कहा जाता है कि इंसान को पहली मोहब्बत नहीं भूलती, तो WAPDA आपकी यकीनन पहली मोहब्बत थी. अब दोबारा जो रीयूनियन, इसके बारे में, are you excited to rejoin it or not?
I am definitely excited. That's why I'm here. I accepted that challenge because, as you said, I had definitely a strong feeling for WAPDA or NGC now. The reason is it's my starting that first company who helped me to grow, and I want to give back. Based on what I learned outside the international experience, I think I'm excited from that point that I can replicate, I can contribute, I can change the organization in a positive way. So that excites me definitely. And the NGC is particularly a young company, 2024, 25 it started. And there is a lot more for us to do and transform and turn this company into a world-class organization. That excites me as well.
How would you compare National Grid Company, NGC, with similarly placed transmission companies around the globe? How far NGC is lagging behind other transmission companies? Is this gap bridgeable?
So let's first understand what is the practices in world-class transmission utilities, and then we can really compare where we are lagging and where we are not. In any advanced transmission company, there are 3 fundamentals. Number 1, their business is based on asset management practices, how they are managing their current assets. That's the fundamental. Number 2, they are using the advanced technologies for inspection, for maintenance, for monitoring, for operations. And the third thing is they have a strong people or the skills, the right size team, the right size skills. And that makes those companies definitely advanced companies. I would say in NGC side, asset management is at a minimum level. I would say there is a lot more for us to do. On technology side, there are some interesting projects already starting at NGC, which I'm trying to push and implement in a faster way. One example is SAP for HANA, which we are calling ERP. That's close to completion now. The latest forecast is that we will be fully adapting it by October 2026. So that's one of the things which definitely advanced utilities are using and which will help us to bridge that gap. The second is on SCADA 3 project, because as of now, the NGC, the way it's operating, we have a lot of substation staffed and manual operation is happening. Just the visibility might be there, limited visibility, but the remote operations may not be there. So SCADA 3 will definitely help us to modernize that aspect, have a better visibility on the system, and we'll have more efficient operations going forward. So in those 2 areas, from technology point of view, we are definitely progressing, and I can see that we will be bridging that gap very soon. In terms of bench strength and the people skills, that's another area we need to work on. And the transformation which NGC is going through is one of the means that build the right organization with the kind of functions which are required as of today's modern transmission utility, as well as develop the people and bring those skills which are needed to run this modern utility. And we have launched, I'm sure you have heard or you're aware, many people development programs in NGC. We are changing our compensation model. We are changing our performance management model. A lot of HR policies are being revamped. That the whole attempt is to develop the foundation of any organization, which is the people. So that focus is there. So I talked about the technology, I talked about the people. The third is about the processes. We are really reviewing each and every process what we have in NGC right now and trying to make them more lean, more efficient, and trying to find any things we need to modify or change to make it better usable based on the current needs of the system, and training the people accordingly for this change, doing the change management in a proper way.
आपने SCADA 3 के प्रोजेक्ट का जिक्र किया है. SCADA 3 में जो हमारे 132 kV का नेटवर्क है, जो सब स्टेशंस हैं, उन तक ये एक्सटेंड नहीं होगा. तो डोंट यू फील कि ये एक ऐसा फ्लॉ है या गैप है जो SCADA 3 को सही ऑपरेशनलाइज होने में हेल्प नहीं करेगा?
Shah Sahab, I think you're absolutely right. I would agree with that. The modern utilities, what they are doing is that the EMS system, which is the energy management system, normally used to operate or manage the transmission system. Then the SCADA is a part of a communication and data acquisition, and it should go beyond the bulk system. And on the distribution side, there is the advanced distribution management system, which needs to be introduced. Unfortunately, that's not there on the distribution side of the business. So to get the maximum benefits of our renewables, of our asset utilization point of view, as well as operational efficiencies in every aspect, we need end-to-end technology solution. So I would say EMS or SCADA 3 is half of the solution. We need to work on the remaining part of the ecosystem on the power side. We need to go with smart metering on the distribution side. We need to really monitor behind the meter what is happening, and to some extent, with virtual power plant concept point of view, we should be able to not only monitor, we should be able to dispatch in the future. And to do that, we need another communication system at the distribution level, plus advanced distribution management system, which should be integrated and touched with the EMS system through SCADA. So yes, we are on the right path, but this is not the 100% which will give us the full benefits of operating the full power system in an efficient way.
Engineer Altaf Malik sir, मेरा आपसे next question ये है कि are you satisfied with the skill set and competence of engineers within NGC, within DISCOs and other power sector of Pakistan? And how would you compare engineers of Pakistan with those of engineers in North America, Europe or elsewhere?
So, Shaista, from basic technical skills point of view, our engineers are definitely at par or even better in some disciplines. The real difference is their familiarity and experience with the modern tools and the systems. And that's lacking, because in Pakistan, maybe those software, those tools, those technologies are not available, so our engineers don't have that experience, which are available in the North America or Europe or other countries, because that gives our engineers additional skills how to use those, as I said, the modern technologies and the systems. So that's an area where I would say Pakistani engineers, when they go out, they have to learn and they have to develop. There is another skill which I would definitely highlight, which is the communication skill. It's a very important, particularly in North America and in Europe, that engineers are not just the technical people sitting and doing the analysis. You need to present that. You need to actually tell the decision makers why you are making this decision or other decision. And the communication skills are very key and critical, that how you frame your message, how you convey your message, and how you convince the decision makers that the solution you're bringing in is the right solution. So those two areas, familiarity with the new system and tools, and focusing on the communication skills, I would say if those are worked on, our engineers are way better than many other engineers.
मुझे आपकी इस बात से, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल वाली बात से मुकम्मल मुझे इत्तफ़ाक़ है, क्योंकि मैंने काफ़ी डिस्कोस के CEOs उनके साथ जब मैंने रब्ता किया इंटरव्यूज़ के लिए, तो दे वर शाय, और मैं बड़ा हैरान होता हूँ कि हमारे जो इंजीनियर्स हैं वो वाकई दे लैक कॉम्पिटेंट इंजीनियर्स हैं. They are leaving NGC and other power sector in large number, especially जो हमारे सिस्टम ऑपरेशन में, प्लानिंग में, डिज़ाइन में लोग जो हैं, टेक्निकल सर्विसेज ग्रुप में, प्रोटेक्शन एंड कंट्रोल, टेलीकॉम, they are leaving NGC and other electric utilities in large number. तो ये जो ट्रेंड है, how can we stop this trend? तो आपके पास इसे ब्रेन ड्रेन कहा जाता है. कुछ लोग इसे पॉजिटिवली लेते हैं, ब्रेन ड्रेन की जगह कहते हैं दिस इज़ ब्रेन गेन एंड वी आर एक्चुअली एक्सपोर्टिंग मैन पावर, सो वी आर अर्निंग रिमिटेंसेस और डॉलर्स. कुछ लोग इसे अपॉर्चुनिज्म भी कहते हैं कि वो फाइनेंशियल गेंस के लिए इब्नुल वक्ती वो जा रहे हैं, नॉट लॉयल टू द कंपनी. तो आपका इस बारे में क्या ख्याल है?
So I'm in between. I think brain drain and brain gain. I'm considering both of that. Let me explain how and why. This brain drain is not only for Pakistan. I have seen in North America engineers from China, engineers from India, engineers from Sri Lanka, engineers from Bangladesh. All South Asia or the Asian countries, the engineers are migrating to that world. So it's not just limited to Pakistan. There are two or three things we need to consider, we need to understand. Number one, the number of engineers we are producing and can we accommodate within Pakistan? That's the first thing. If our engineers, we are producing more from our institution and universities than we need in the country, then definitely there will be outflow, which is positive. I consider that. More opportunities are there. The second thing is, are we compensating them properly? Unfortunately not. So we are not compensating our engineers at a market level. So whenever they get some experience, they decide based on the financial aspects point of view that I would say world is now a global village. So the boundaries are not there which were in the past. So wherever they find a competitive package and competitive offer, they make a decision, which is very logical. That's one second thing. And the third thing is, engineers are very curious by nature. And they want to learn new things. They want a continuous challenges to solve the problems. And in some cases, in many companies, maybe including NGC, we may not be giving them the opportunity to work on the new challenges, to use the new technologies, to do the things in a different way. So when they see, because the world is a global village, on internet, on other journals and the literature review and many other sources, that this solution is available, this technology is available, and they are not using, they got frustrated as well. They want to use that. So these are the three reasons I would say. And to some extent I say yes, if we need them, we should retain them. But on the other side, we are contributing in global world, our skills, our reputation is very good with Pakistani engineers working outside, and very key positions, those are there and they are doing the great, they are well recognized. I look holistically, yes, to some extent I would say if you look purely NGC point of view or any utility point of view, there is a brain drain. But if you look bigger picture, it's a brain sharing, it's a brain gain. Because if any of those coming back from Middle East particularly, they are bringing with them tons of experience, which we can use and upgrade our own system or our own employees with knowledge sharing. So I have a mixed kind of feelings or impression or thinking on that brain drain.
Being managing director of NGC, do you have a plan to stop this brain drain? What is the policy? Previously, there was a deputation policy which the previous board of directors discontinued. और अब engineers की तरफ से एक बड़ी डिमांड है कि इसको resume किया जाए और एक workable deputation policy हो. तो इस बारे में what's your take on it?
So I would say what I said earlier, that for retention, we need to give the good compensation to our engineers. And in NGC, we are working on that. We are bringing a new package pay package, which will be way better than what we had before, and that will help us from financial point of view to retain our brains. The second is we are bringing new systems. I mentioned about SCADA, I mentioned about ERP, other grid modernization things. We are working on the drones. So I'm trying to bring the new technologies, the new challenges for our engineers to grow them. So that will attract them to remain in the company as well. And the third piece is really on the trainings and development side. If we provide them trainings and development, then that helps them to grow as well. In part of the training and development, it could be training courses in institutions, it could be self-learning, or it could be sharing a rotation, what we call in North America. So my plan is to rotate engineers within NGC. Plus, I floated this idea that power sector now, even in Pakistan, there are Element Discos, there are NGC and many other companies. We should rotate our engineers between the power sector. In this way, they will develop different expertise and they can use it, and it will help them. Shahid Sahab, I can tell you that in a couple of years, the engineers, even within Pakistan, they will be switching jobs and moving between the companies. So they have every right, because as long as they stay in Pakistan and they contribute and they do good, and they do whatever they are interested to do, that's important. And in that case, this rotation will help to grow them and expand their knowledge. And the third piece is this rotation, which is little extended rotation outside of Pakistan. Could be in Middle East, could be in other countries. I'm supportive of that as well, but with slightly caution. We should not be open that we lose all of our expertise. So we have to really have a solid plan that how much we can send out on deputation, and the deputation should not be for extended time. It should be for a shorter time, so they can gain the knowledge, bring it back, and share with NGC or wherever they are going from. So that will help the company and other engineers in knowledge transfer point of view. So that's a 3-4 kind of a strategies I'm working on.
क्या आप अपने टाइमलाइन के बारे में बता सकते हैं? आपने कंपनसेशन एंड बेनिफिट्स इसका जिक्र किया है कि कंपनी जो है नया कंपनसेशन एंड बेनिफिट पॉलिसी ला रही है, तो ये कब तक ये सारा जो ऑपरेशनलाइज हो जाएगा ये?
So it's almost, I started in November and now it's August. So 8-9 months really on the job. So we have done many things. First thing, we brought in the performance management system, which is really will help. And that's another tool, Shahid Sahab, which will definitely help to the better performers, the outstanding employees, when they are recognized properly, when they are evaluated at the year end properly based on their performance. When they are compensated in salary progression, in the bonuses or incentive pay based on the performance. That's a sort of recognition, and engineers will think that they will stay here. This is a good company to work. So that performance management system is already approved from the board. We developed it based on international standards, North American ways, and that's already got board's blessing, and we are in stage of implementing and sharing in various kind of meeting and sessions with the employees. Our new compensation and benefit package, we just got approval from the board. So you will be hearing very soon, and we will have information sessions with the employees. We are planning for that. And I'm sure the employees will be quite happy when they see the actual the benefits compared to what they are getting now. It's not only the financial or the pay or the salary, it's the full compensation overall. I call it the total reward. So that will be very attractive and market based.
Can we safely hope कि नए साल तक ये operationalize हो जाएगा? At the start of the next year?
Way sooner. It's just a matter of weeks rather than months.
Months, okay. Are you satisfied with the present level of motivation amongst NGC employees? I am myself a born optimist. I'm not painting a doomsday scenario, but the vibes are that it's not encouraging, the level of motivation. So how as MD NGC would you ensure that the employees remain motivated at all the times?
Yeah, very interesting and good question, Shahid Sahab. That's very important. For any organization to keep employees motivated, that helps the productivity of employees, that helps the organization in their delivering on their mandate. For NGC employees, when I started, I could easily say there was a lot of demotivation. The people were disengaged. People were concerned about NGC. What's the future? What we will be doing? We have been split in many companies. What's next for us? So those kind of uncertainties were there, which were part of contributing in demotivation. I'm sure you noted that as soon as I started, I had my first town hall meeting. And that's the way I started engaging with employees. I'm frequently communicating through NGC announcements. I started monthly messages and sent few monthly messages as well. I'm very open in communicating with employees what is happening in the organization through social media, LinkedIn, or other sources, or my emails or communications. And I have seen with my direct interaction and what I'm hearing from our other employees, that the things are improving, things are changing, employees are feeling more satisfied, and employees are feeling more engaged, and that will definitely help in increasing the motivation. I would not say we are at a level which I want, but I can see the trajectory we are going in.
It's satisfactory.
It's satisfactory that the people are being motivated.
So there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. The ongoing restructuring within NGC is very critical, and you have mentioned different contours of this restructuring process. So are you satisfied with the space? And second part of my question is there any internal resistance within NGC which you are facing vis-a-vis this restructuring? How optimistic you are regarding your replication of overseas experience in NGC?
So let me be very honest with that. And it's human nature. Change, every time if there is a change, humans are concerned about that change. So that's why the proper change management is very important whenever you're bringing the change. You have to really be open, honest, communicating what you are doing, why you are doing, and what will be the end result of that. So we are in transformation mode. The power sector was restructured, NGC was formed. And when I started, I started this transformation journey, which I explained earlier. I would not repeat that. But at the same time, we are very open with employees what we are doing. We are avoiding that uncertainty and kind of eliminating or reducing that. That will help in the proper change management. We have many employee engagement sessions. It's not something we are exporting outside or implementing. It's definitely ideas are there, but we are assessing the realities of the NGC and trying to make the best solution which works for NGC. So I would say from people's engagement point of view, yes, it's a human nature. We need to work on that to bring them on board, and we are doing that. And when they see the results and when they see the positive things coming out of this transformation, their kind of fear, their kind of thinking or myths will go away, and they will really see the results. This is good for them, and this is good for Pakistan.
So do you expect that you will win the hearts of NGC employees?
I'm trying my best. That's the motive, and I can tell you that the way I'm seeing the employee engagement, as I mentioned earlier, I'm very hopeful.
The last part of my question was that are you optimistic about the replication of your overseas experience within Pakistan, the vis-a-vis restructuring?
Yes, I would say that.
Or is it an alien concept in NGC?
No, I think it's not alien. Sometimes the way you communicate, the way you bring those ideas, that matters. And the way I am working with my teams over here, leadership team, as well as I'm very open. I go to the skip level, to chief engineers, even down, and I have a very open communication, and I express and share my ideas. As long as you explain them well, as long as you highlight the benefits of that and how it will work and help NGC to do a better job, the people are very willing to accept that. So that's
so there is a buy-in.
There is a buy-in, and that makes sense. The whole idea outside are not like Those are just to make the processes efficient, make the people more skillful, and make the organization more efficient. So I would say any good engineer, any good manager, any good leader, they are always open to adapt the new concept or new ideas to improve. It's a continuous improvement process.
कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि बाज़ औक़ात कि ये उन पे थोपा जाता है या इट्स अ कॉपी पेस्ट एक्सरसाइज सो डू यू आल्सो थिंक सो और इट्स द अदर वे अराउंड
I think the copy paste is a little strong word. Utilities learn from each other. Utilities do the benchmarking. I'm doing this way, how other utility is doing. And there is always attempt to be better, to improve, learn from others. So I would not say that if we are replicating or doing some stuff or borrowing some stuff or learning something from other practices, it's wrong. We should be very open. But again, we should really adjust based on our environment to optimize it. It should not be blindly copied, but it should be carefully studied what the best practices are,
properly customized,
and how we can adapt them in a reasonable time frame, in a reasonable way. So that's very important. It's not cut and paste. I would say it's a learn and transfer.
इंजीनियर अल्ताफ मलिक साहब, आपने अपने जो प्रायोरिटी एरियाज़ उनको काफ़ी डिटेल से बयान किया है, तो आपके ख्याल में would you be able to get those objectives during your tenure, 3-year tenure?
That's my wish, but let me be realistic. In most cases, I think I would. But in some cases, for example, technology adoption, it takes time to introduce and bring the solutions. It takes time to train the people. It takes time to fully adapt that. But as long as in my tenure, whatever is remaining, it's going in the right direction, it's improving, I would say that's my success. As long as you're on the right path, maybe you're not at your destination yet. But if you're going on your path in a right direction, that's the success.
The intent and will is there.
Exactly. So I'm confident that in most cases we will definitely achieve those kind of things, like processes, training, policies, and all those things. But in terms of maturity and adapting those fully, it's a constant. It takes time, and it's a kind of from young engineers to mid-career engineers to senior engineers. There is a different pace of learning. So we have to recognize that, and I will see where we are. But as long as we are on the right direction, I will be satisfied, and I consider it my success and mission accomplished.
Inshallah. Pakistan has witnessed recurring major countrywide brownouts and blackouts, and these incidents cost many employees their jobs, including some NTDC MDs. So how do you plan to prevent such occurrences in future?
So outages anywhere in the world, it's a reality. Even the blackouts happen. It happened in
but the frequency
America,
in Pakistan is
and even in Europe recently. But the frequency, you're absolutely right. The frequency is important. That it should not be a everyday kind of occurring. Unfortunately, in Pakistan, it happened more frequently. I know that 2021 and then 2023, there were two major events. So there are short-term solutions and there are long-term solutions. In the short term is that focus on the maintenance. Be proactive in maintaining your assets, your systems. And especially when the challenging weather conditions are coming, be ready before that and complete those inspection maintenance well ahead. That's the first thing. The second thing is a long term, which is investing on your assets. What happened is that in Pakistan, because a lot of focus was on the growth, the new power generation, new power evacuation, so most of our investments were on the growth side or power evacuation side. There was not as much focus on the asset sustainment, how we manage and rejuvenate or maintain or replace of our end-of-life assets and other assets. that was not done the way it should have been done. So we have to catch up on that. That's why in our new organization, we have a special function, asset sustainment
and performance.
And performance. So their focus is that they will be monitoring the performance of the assets, they will be monitoring the condition of the assets, there will be informed decisions, data-driven decisions, when to interact and how to manage those assets. So this is, I consider, and then invest accordingly on a prioritized basis. So if that's done, we prepare a sound investment plans, we implement them timely, we address those risks on the system timely, then you will have a robust power system, a transmission system, which will have way less those kind of common blackouts. And the third thing is I just want to highlight as well as the use of technology. As if you are visible, you have visibility on your power system when you're up in ISMO, for example, on a control center, or on our side, when we are maintaining our assets and the way we are planning our assets, you can actually make more informed decisions compared to when there is no visibility and you're operating the system. Either you are risk averse and you're not taking using the system in an optimum way, or you are taking some cases risks and system is not capable because you don't have a visibility. You're operating the system in an estimated or blind way. This SCADA 3 and EMS and ISMOs kind of a new process and procedures that will also help to avoid any kind of those major blackouts. So there are many things we need to do to avoid that. If you are asking me it should be done next day, no. It takes time, it takes efforts, but definitely if we work on those things which I highlighted, there will be very less or no those kind of outages in Pakistan.
Okay. Inordinate delays in project execution and time and cost overrun led to the creation of another company from within NGC, that is Energy Infrastructure and Development Management Company. Are you satisfied with this transition? Could it have been avoided? And now that it has been created, what will be the rules of the game with the benefit of hindsight between NGC and IDMIC?
So at a high level, I would say that this was created before I joined. I joined as a MD of NGC, so IDMIC is a reality for me. That's one thing. The second is IDMIC's mandate is broader than just the NGC projects, the way I understand. It's a energy infrastructure, which includes all power system, which could be transmission, distribution, and other power systems. Oil and gas falls under energy as well. So it has a broader mandate. But at the same time, I question myself the way I came from is that a lot of these things are being privatized, and private sector is way more involved in execution of the projects on turnkey basis or on public-private partnership point of view. So if I look at IDMIC, so sometime I question myself, maybe it's unique for Pakistan, maybe it's needed in Pakistan, but if I look international practices, this slightly misfits. But we have to see, and I'm trying my best to make the best out of it from IDMIC. We are working very closely with them and helping them to grow, helping them to develop the processes, helping them to have a kind of a framework which we both companies can operate in a reasonable way, that NGC can give the projects and they can execute on schedule, on cost, in an efficient way, and address exactly as you mentioned earlier, the projects previously were delayed and sometimes cost overrun. Well, let me tell you, this is not only in Pakistan. The power system projects worldwide are becoming way more complex due to many reasons. The one reason is environmental stuff, a lot of focus, stakeholder and community engagements, that's taking longer time. The good planning. If you plan the project in a good way and consider those kind of risks when you are planning the project and we are scoping the project, you can actually help during the execution with those time you spend on figuring out and identifying those risks and developing those kind of risk mitigation strategies. That will accelerate the project execution. So sometimes the solution is not really that we create something new. The solution might be we start doing the stuff in a different way. And I think we can address the delays in the projects and the cost overruns by really carefully scoping the projects, carefully planning the projects, and then during execution getting those stakeholder engagement at the right time, then the projects will be done on time.
So NGC is comfortable with IDMIC.
I think the word comfortable is a strong word. IDMIC is a new company. They don't have any staff yet. They are recruiting at this point as we talk. So comfortable will come at a later end. You can ask me this question in a couple of months, 6 months from now. But at this point, because it's a new organization, I have not seen the organization, I have not worked with the organization, I'm not fully aware of its future capabilities and all those things. So we will try definitely to make it successful, but we will see as we go in the next 6 months to a year that how the IDMIC is, and you can ask me if I'm comfortable or confident or not.
NGC has shrunk fast. CPPAG, Independent System and Market Operator, and IDMIC, Energy Infrastructure and Development Management Company, they are now realities. So where will this process stop? Is it all over or will it shrink further?
I would say not shrink. As I mentioned in my earlier response in one of the questions is, utility sector throughout the world is changing. And particularly, the operation is becoming way more complex. It's not a simple from generation to the end customers, one-way power flow. It's a multi-way power flow happening now. There are distributed energy resources on the distribution system. There are solarization, you heard about that. On the transmission side, there are different type of generations now. It's not hydro or thermal anymore. There are interruptible, intermittent sources of renewables. Those need to be managed and operated in a totally different way, and we need to focus in a different way. So from ISMO point of view, worldwide, there is a trend that the operations are being separated from the transmission companies to have the right focus. The same is on the transmission companies as well. The field operations, the asset management, and maintaining and upgrading the transmission network, that itself requires a high focus. It's no more operating the system. I call it's optimizing the system. How you operate, how you do the asset utilization, the best asset utilization. And that requires a focus on the asset management or the asset. That requires focus on how you operate the system. So those are definitely aligned with international practice.
So it's a natural course of action.
It's natural that you adjust based on the current reality of the time.
Okay. Do you feel NGC is a resource constrained company? Can financial resources be a hurdle in the digitalization process of NGC?
But yeah, the resources definitely, particularly financial resources are, we always go to IFIs for investments of our projects, and those are definitely limited. There is a lot to do for us. I mentioned about the asset sustainment and investing our existing assets, not just the growth. So the system needs are quite high compared to the resource availability, the financial, our funding the projects from our own resources, or getting funding from the World Bank or ADB and other IFIs. Those are the kind of, we really need to think through and optimize that. Need is more, resources are less. But if we manage and prioritize in the right way, then definitely we can focus on high priorities area first and to get the maximum benefits.
All right. What is the future of Pakistan's national grid? Will it stay there or become redundant in view of solarization, this renewables syndrome?
Let me go with solarization. It's a reality. It's not only in Pakistan, it's everywhere. Even in Canada, where some is not as much shining as in Pakistan, solarization is going at a fast pace. And the reason is decarbonization on both on generation side as well as on the end user point of view. That a lot of generation is moving away from fossil fuels to renewables and other sources of energy. And the same is on the end user's point of view. Electrification is happening. Electrification of transportation, electrification of industries, and as well as electrification at a residential front from space and water and cooling and heating point of view or cooking point of view. So that's the reality. That's why solarization is coming up. Particularly in Pakistan, the major driver of solarization was, in addition to the cheaper, now it's cheaper, was the reliability. Because of the outages, and customers were looking for alternate resources of energy, and that's why the solarization pace was quite high. And then when the solar PV prices came down, that's another driver. That's a cheaper source of energy compared to if you're connecting with the grid. Grid is here to stay. Grid will not be disappearing, but grid's role will be changing going forward. The way I see is, I will quote earlier my comment, is that it's not just operation, it's optimization. And wherever the cheaper source of energy is, if you're utilizing at the right time, carefully, then you will be providing affordable energy to our customers. You will be using your existing network in a more optimum way. You could be minimizing the expansion needs of the system. So for me, if we have the right policies, if we have right price signals, like time of use and other things, and if we leverage the new technology, grid will become more efficient, and it will help us to provide more cheaper energy at affordable rates to our customers. But it needs a holistic planning approach. You cannot plan in silos and develop the policies in silos, because sometimes if it's not thought through end to end, those create problem rather than providing a solution. So this is one area I would say Pakistan really need to focus on, is an integrated energy plan, integrated thinking on the power system from all aspects of decision making, coordination between DISCOs and NGC, coordination between NGC to our operator ISMO, and better coordination from NGC and ISMO towards the generation, towards the other big customers, how they are doing it. If the things are planned and operated in an optimum way, grid can support in a better way. But if you're asking me the way it's being operated and way it's in current condition, yes, there is a fear that if we don't change, the people will lose trust on the grid, and then there will be definitely a distributed generation, a local solution will be coming up. And I just want to highlight one thing is, the change on the distribution side of the business is at a way more faster rate compared to transmission and even on generation side. And we need to be really focusing on the distribution system, distribution companies, that how they can leverage the technologies like smart meters we talked about, or AMI we are calling it, how to modernize the grid, add automation on our system. Really think through, is 11 kV a solution for Pakistan going forward, or we should move a higher distribution voltage? I have seen multiple 6, 7, 8 feeders on single pole structures on distribution side. And I was really worried if something happened with that structure, how many customers will be impacted?
We are putting all eggs in a single basket.
Exactly. So when we are planning the system, when we are designing the system, it's not only providing the capacity. We need to think about the reliability of the system. We need to think about contingency of the system. And I think there are 2 things Pakistan distribution sector needs to do in an urgent basis. Think about a higher distribution voltage level and do area planning of the distribution system. And bring the new technology for grid modernization.
All right.
They need to optimize, which will help the national grid, which will ultimately help to reduce the reliance on the expensive fossil fuel plants, which are very expensive, and increasing the tariff which customers are paying.